Hi, my name is Craig Blanchette, and I'm a certified optimal health coach. And it's my privilege tonight to bring you Chapter 7 of Dr. A's Habits of Health. We've been on a journey that started way back in January. We started at Chapter 26, and now we've gone and we're down to Chapter 7. So we're getting really close to the beginning of the book, which is the end of the series. Been really fun to go through this in backwards motion. One of the things that we, all of us coaches, try to do is we try to stay connected to our health. Even though we're coaching other people, we want to make sure that our skills stay tuned up so that we don't lose our health along the way. And so each year we go through the habits of health, and that's what we're doing now with this study. So tonight's Chapter 7, and the title is The Catalyst to Reaching a Healthy Weight. And so Dr. A, in Chapter 8, he talks a little bit about if you decided that you didn't want to use the portion-controlled meal replacements, you could do, maybe there was a reason why you couldn't do it or something getting in the way. So Chapter 8 talks about how to get close to healthier living and weight loss. But he recommends using tools, just like everybody, you know, if you have a car, that's a transportation tool, and it's pretty darn convenient. Now, it's more expensive than a pair of sneakers, right? But it does a lot more, and it gets you to where you want faster and safer. That's very, very similar to the portion-controlled meal replacements. They might cost you a little bit more. They're going to get you there faster and safer. And so, and then once you do get to your goal weight, you can then change your strategy on how you use portion-controlled meal replacements so that you're able to maintain all that work that you've put into building that healthy body. Makes it a lot easier to maintain that. So, in this chapter, Dr. A is outlining a system that he found most effective in helping people who need to lose a lot of weight. This plan will get you the results right out of the gate and allow Dr. A time to teach you the healthy eating system for after weight loss. And it says, we'll use this incredible tool to help you lose weight and begin your journey towards optimal health. Then in chapters 8 through 10, Dr. A will outline his healthy eating plan, which will empower you to have complete command over your eating environment. You learn a comprehensive approach that provides the techniques, shopping methods, and a meal plan that will deliver your body a full array of healthy foods. But first, let me describe this tool that Dr. A uses daily to help people start their journey to optimal health. If you're a little skeptical, it says keep reading, and you'll learn how easy it is to get going. So who would like to jump in, and do you have some highlights that you pulled out from the lesson here that stood out to you, even in this first little section here? Who wants to go first? Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. Well, I'll start off with one thing that really jumped out to me here, and it's on page 72. It says a lot has changed since portion-controlled meal replacements were first developed in the 1970s. They were originally created to spur weight loss in extremely obese, high-risk patients. PCMRs provided specific combinations of nutrients in small dose controlled portions that protect lean muscle while burning fat. They used those in patients that were going in for heart surgery, and they were obese, and their mortality rate was higher if they were overweight than if they were to lose 40 pounds. So they would put them on the 5-in-1 program, and they would lose 40 pounds in 2 months, and then they could have a lot better survivability rate. Well, Dr. A said, this is so great at losing weight, we could utilize this tool to actually get the weight off. But if people don't learn anything more than the 5-in-1, they're going to just put the weight back on. So that's why he wrote the book, The Habits of Health, was to teach people how to live a healthy lifestyle and not just learn the tricks of the 5-in-1. So that part really stood out to me as to why it was intended and how far meal replacements have come since they were first designed. There was only in the very beginning, I know that Medifast had shakes and pudding, 2 options. and people lost hundreds of pounds. Now we have 80 options, lots of variety. And the most powerful thing that I love about our program, the Medifast 501 program, is that all 80 of those items have the same nutritional footprint. They all have the same nutrients. They all have roughly the same calories. And the only thing that's different is the texture and the flavor. So you can be safe whether I grab one of the cereals or one of the soups, or I have one of the soft serves. You know, cereals, soups, or soft serves. Man, those three, it's like I was planned that. They all have the same nutritional value, but they all taste very different. And I love not having to get the nutrition right while I'm worried about all these other things. Kim, go ahead. I unmuted you.
Okay. Sorry, got some background noise keeping my son busy, but something that stood out to me is on page 73, where it says, well, while teaching you to fix healthy, low glycemic meals is one of my most important goals, I'm also a realist. I know, for example, that most of you have never programmed your DVD player and that the LED clock is probably still blinking.
Yeah.
And that stood out to me because I think when I first joined the program, I was like, okay, you know, I was desperate. I just needed to lose weight. And so whatever was going to work, I would do. But I was also really concerned, well, if I can lose weight on this program, what do I do when I'm done? I got to learn how to eat without, am I going to be eating this food forever? And so I really had this motivation to not be eating this food forever. And that was at first. And yet now I won't be without it because it is a phenomenal tool. And the realist now that I now see is that I know how to fix meals that I can get, achieve optimal health with. It's not a matter of not knowing. It's a matter of my schedule being crazy at times. And that's my insurance program, I guess. I don't know. It's there when I need it. Mm-hmm. And if I don't need it, I don't need to use it, but I won't be without them because I know between soccer and baseball and things that I have on my meetings and everything else, there are times when I just don't have time. Mm-hmm. So that part really stood out to me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And that's why it's so practical. When I first started out as a coach, I had a lot of people, and I was focusing on the meal replacements because they were so magical, really. And they said, do we have to eat this forever? And I said, well, what kinds of results are you looking to get forever? You know, the 5-in-1 is designed for weight loss. So what if you actually got to your weight? Then you don't need the 5-in-1 anymore. But what if you could use these as tools, like Kim just said? What if you spent $150 a month on meal replacements for the rest of your life and you maintained a healthy weight for the rest of your life? Would that be worth it to you? I mean, it's like maybe I just have to recalibrate what healthy living looks like. And if I get off in this world of idealism and I start to gain my weight back because I didn't want to spend that $150, and then I'm going on and off the 5-in-1 all the time, and I'm back on my medications and I'm off my medications, and then the greatest cost of that kind of lifestyle is you beat yourself up because you're gaining weight, because you're not giving yourself a chance to succeed, because you're trying to do this unrealistic ideal program where everything is whole foods. To me, that's not ideal in my world. My world says I maintain a healthy weight and my body runs great. And I eat 3 to 4 of those meal replacements a day and 2 meals, usually 1 to 2 meals a day. That's just what I do. And it's been 6 years now. You know, right now, today, I'm at 131. So I'm within 4 pounds of my lowest. And 6 years now. I mean, to me, I don't know about you, but that's just, it's like maybe you just need to recalibrate your budget and take $100 out of somewhere else and stick it over there in your health budget so that you don't have to struggle with this for the rest of your life. Debbie, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where I'm at, is I'm spending about $150. It's gotten to the point where I'm used to spending that kind of money. sorry, my 16-year-old beagle will bark while I'm talking.
Yeah.
This chapter is one of the first chapters I read. And because I wasn't sure, I just wanted to know everything I needed to know about the program. And I refer to it all the time because it tells me the green, the yellow, and the red. Yep. But it was I just wanted to make a comment because I fit that in my budget. I'm a single parent and working 40 hours a week, and my schedule gets crazy. And I have implemented this program into my schedule because it is so easy. And I just plan on doing it for the rest of my life because it just works. And I have fit that in my budget because one of the things that they always say is you put value on into what you want. I made that because it's important to me.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Debbie. You know, what's really interesting there is, you remember, I don't know if you heard, but I was trying to listening between the lines there. And one of the things she said is that when I do this, it makes it easy to be successful. How many programs out there do you hear that people are jumping around from program to program? And it's not easy for them. It's very, very hard. Going with all whole foods, and people complain about how hard it is. Right? So if something is too hard, eventually you might stop doing it. Because you'll have days when you don't want it to be so hard. Well, what if you just made it easy enough to be successful? I don't know. For me, I would never go back to not having transportation. Right? Go back to walking everywhere. Right? I'm going to use the car because we have it. Right? It makes sense. If I want to travel across the country, I might ride my bike, but I wouldn't get there very quickly. But I'd probably take a plane, right? Why would I go back to trying to walk across the country or even drive across the country when I have a plane? I don't think that I'm any less of a person because I used air transportation versus auto transportation when traveling. It's the right tool that does what I need it to do and allows me to be busy. Anyway, so those are some ideas, some things that stood out to me. He talks about the glucose insulin response curve on page 76, which is pretty great. Anybody else have anything else specific that jumped out before we get into our quiz for the night?
I had one later in the chapter. Let me see what page that. Oh, on page 79.
Okay.
Just seafood. That one serving of fish a week can reduce your risk of fatal heart attack by 40%. I thought that was, yeah. Yep. So.
Yeah, and I thought that was great. I also thought was interesting is the meatless choices. You know, that you can do eggs, the incredible edible egg. It really is an amazing source of great calories. So you have your 14 egg whites. Now, I don't know about you. 2 cups of egg beaters. Has anybody personally ever done that? 2 cups of egg beaters. This is one person's serving. When you see how many eggs are on that plate, you're going to be like, what? This is for the whole family, right? So I usually never use the leanest. I go to the leaner, and it is 2 whole eggs plus 4 whites. And that's personally what I do when I do the meatless options. Because it's hard to eat 2 cups of egg beaters. And that's just the lean portion. You still got the green portion to go for. So,
hey, Craig, I just wanted to throw in, that is one of the biggest, the meatless or the fish, the seafood is one of the biggest things that I've changed in my diet was that when I read that I should be eating at least 2 servings of that a week. I'm not a big fish eater, but I've actually found fish that I like because of that. That's like one of the biggest changes I've made since I've been on this program. And I love it. I love it. I even tell my son, we've got to have it when he goes, fish again. So
I just found a white fish, and it was, I'm not going to be able to, it wasn't the standard tilapia, but it was kind of like tilapia, but it was, I can't even remember it, but it was really good. Who cares? I can't even tell you. Sorry. All right. Well, why don't we jump in to the actual quiz? Yes, SWAI, Stephen. That's exactly what it was. SWAI, or yeah. So if you find it, it's really good. SWAI. Thank you. I can't believe you pulled that out. That was awesome. Yep. I was thinking mahi. That's the only thing that was coming to my mind, and I know that's tuna, so it wasn't that. All right, so let me share my screen here, and then you can get out your smartphones, and we'll get into the ready to join. Let's see here, start. So go to Kahoot IT, and then you're going to type in 301534. So Kahoot.it, you can do it on your computer, you can do it on your iPad, your iPhone, your Android, any type of mobile device. Wendy and Kim are in. Good job. Radar, that's Stephen. And if you're thinking, this is too complicated, just pull out your phone, pull up Safari, go to Kahoot.it, and then it'll ask you for the PIN number. All right, anybody else? Steven's in. Dean, are you going to join? Yep, he's working on it. Okay, we'll give you a second. You got this. Kahoot.it. Eileen's in. There you go, Dean. Sherry's in. Wendy, are you going to play? Yep, you're in. Okay, all right. So we got, I think, 11 questions tonight. So what's going to happen when I hit start, when the question comes up, if it's a longer question, it'll be in the middle of the screen, and then after about 4 seconds, it goes to the top of the screen. So the question's still there, but it gives you your options for what to choose. And here we go with question number 1. Chapter 7 of Dr. A's Habits of Health. Lean and green refers to the mascot for a food company, the name for the Oregon Ducks football team, a healthy portion of protein and approved veggies, or none of the above. Yes. So it was a healthy portion of protein and approved veggies. Correct. And Radar Nut is in first place with Debbie in second. Question 2. Avocados are part of the healthy fats on the Lean and Green program. That is false. Yep. Avocados, if you look in Dr. A's book, are not part, they are a healthy fat, but it's not healthy fat when you're on the Lean and Green program or the 5-in-1. So something to think about. Some of you guys may have been having those. And avocados are a good healthy source of fat, but they're too many calories for the 5-in-1. All righty. PCMRs were originally created to taste like cardboard, increase weight loss in patients, spur weight loss in extremely obese high-risk patients, or make life more difficult. The answer was to spur weight loss in extremely obese high-risk patients. Everybody got that one right. Great job. Next question. These are part of the checklist for change, page 84. You have a month's supply of PCMRs. You've taken the health assessment. You have groceries ready to make a lean and green, or all of the above. And the answer was all of the above. Ooh, everybody got it right. Good job, you guys. Way to go. Next question. You should avoid alcohol when in phase 1. True or false? Okay, that's probably better. Am I back? Yes. No. Good. Thank you. Okay. So avoid alcohol because it has sugar in it, and it lowers your inhibitions towards eating too much or overeating. All right. Radar Nut is in first, followed closely by Debbie and Vivian. Medifast PCMRs shine because there's 70 varieties, all have the same nutritional footprint. They don't contain preservatives or all of the above. Great. Yep. So that what's interesting is they all have the same nutrition footprint, which is great. You probably knew that. 70 varieties. You guys knew that. But I don't know if you realize that our food has no preservatives. It's all freeze dried. So it's really it's pretty clean as far as foods go. It's not your typical, when people talk about processed foods, it's not, they don't mean this. Processed foods generally are low in nutrition and high in calories because they've stripped it all off through the processing. Well, our processing is very, very minimal, and they have 24 vitamins and minerals, and it's very, very carefully created. So it's very, very different than a Twinkie, for example. All right, your goal for total carbs per day when on the 5-in-1 is 50 to 60, 85 to 90, 120 to 130, or none of the above. Total carbs per day in grams. And it was blue, 85 to 90. Yep. So that is the goal there. And so if you have an app that measures your carbs per day, that's another thing. If you hit a plateau, you want to see how many carbs you're really getting. And if you're more than 90, 95 is sometimes the cutoff. 85 is a sweet spot. 85 to 90 is a sweet spot. So maybe check over a week, measure and track everything, and then see where you're at. That can help. All right, number 8. You should drink a minimum of blank ounces of water daily. A minimum. Is it 100? Is it 64? Is it 80? Or is it 32? And this is from his chapter. It is a minimum of 64. Everybody nailed it. Way to go. So that's the minimum for survival. We're going for optimum. I don't know about you, but we're going for optimum. So we want to get closer between 80 and 100 on a normal day. And Dean, thanks for drinking. See, that's subliminal drinking message. When it's a hot day like it is today, you're going to probably be having more than 100 to keep hydrated. By the way, your thirst, if you're thirsty all the time, that's your body trying to survive. So thirst is a indicator of unhealth, not health. So you want to drink before you're thirsty. All right. Question 9. Dr. A calls PCMRs healthy fast food for the 21st century. Is that true or false? That is true. Yep, healthy fast food. We got a lot of fast food and we got a lot of healthy food. But to have healthy fast food is a challenge. And that's one of the benefits of the power of these tools that we use. And again, the 5-in-1 was never designed to bring optimal health. The 5-in-1 is designed to safely lose weight while you learn some habits. And then once you get your weight off, then you can learn to establish those healthy lifestyles into a lifestyle. All right, Radar Nut's still on the front. Got a good lead by 400 points. Meatless options include 14 egg whites, 15 ounces, tofu extra firm, Boca burgers, or all of the above. And that is all of the above. Some people don't realize that we do have vegetarian programs and meatless, we call it meatless programs, what we do for folks that want to stay away from the meat, animal meat. All right. Good job, everybody. All PCMRs are just about the same. True or false? That is definitely false. All PCMRs are just about the same. So that means something like a Cliff Bar would be the same as Medifast bar. So maybe I didn't word that question very rightly, because I would think that most people would have gotten that false. There's a big difference. Yeah, I went out there one time and I looked at all the different Atkins products, and they did not have the same nutritional footprint. I looked at the different Cliff Bars, and they were very, very different when you read the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats and the nutrients. Very, very different. So you couldn't just say, what flavor do I want today? And trust that they had your back, because they don't. Medifast is the only portion-controlled meal replacement program that I've ever seen that has the nutritional footprint almost identical no matter which option you choose. And I hope you guys get the reality of how powerful that is and how convenient it is to just have the safe, trustworthy foods right there at your fingertips. All right, number 12 of 12. The benefits of PCMRs today are simple to eat with our busy lifestyle, make it easy to get nutrients, are very effective for weight loss, or all of the above. One person said, I didn't know that Cliff Bar is considered a PCMR. Well, it's not a meal replacement. It's a portion-controlled meal. But yeah, good point. Meal replacements need to have 24 vitamins and minerals, technically. So, all right. So, looks like Kim. I can't believe you did that, Kim. I thought finally she was going to be unseated as the champion.
Well, thanks for that question, Craig. That really helped me out.
Oh, the trick one? Yeah, because he was winning. He was in the lead the whole way.
I know, and I couldn't go any faster. I thought, I'm done. But that.
Yeah, that was bad worded question. So, anyway, any questions for clarification now that we're finished with the quiz? There, did you learn anything new? Anything stand out to you? A little bit, Sherry. You had something you wanted to share with us? Go ahead.
No, I just learned some new things, picked up some things, and I appreciate your input.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure. Thanks. Anybody else want to share maybe something, a takeaway or something that's stood out to you? No?
I just real quick about that Cliff Bar thing. You were saying that it has to have, in order for it to be considered a meal replacement, it has to have 24
vitamins, minerals. Yeah, 24. That's like the minimum that your body needs to survive. And so Medifast meals are actually pharmaceutical grade meal replacements, and they do have 24 vitamins and minerals. So they are in a whole different category than the stuff you find at like Costco and your grocery store. And so a lot of people go out there and they try to find a cheaper bar.
Oh, okay.
Right? And you will find a cheaper bar, but you won't find a better meal replacement. And so it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to get the carbs right or this right, and you're not getting the nutrients levels right, and let's say you find a bar that you like, and so you've got one flavor. How soon before you have taste fatigue? What happens when you want cereal or soup or hot cocoa, right? Maybe some soft serve, right? So nobody, there is not anything like this out there. They're just not. I mean, where can you find all these different varieties that are all safe and that are pharmaceutical grade, 24 vitamins, minerals, and the taste, they have plenty that tastes wonderful to get around that side. So anyway, well, thank you guys for your participation as always. Eileen, you have a question? Go for it.
Yeah, I didn't know about the carbs. And so I'll start keeping track of the 85 to 90 carbs. But would that be in addition to that's besides the PCMRs?
Yeah, that's your lean and green and all your 5. So each one of the meal replacements, I think I have, here's another one. You guys have ever seen these?
Yeah.
Yep. These have the green package. If you are plateauing and you're having more than one of these a day, that could be the reason. The 5-in-1 and the fine print says that if you order these, you can have only one of the green ones per day. This is a maintenance bar and has more calories in it. I use these before a workout or when I'm training because they have a little bit more calories, and I use the Optimal Health bars sometimes as well. But so in this particular bar here, it has 22, 21, 20. So it has 18 when you cancel out the fiber, 18 carbs and 11 proteins. So this is, like I said, a little bit more for maintenance. So you count up.
I'll count the PCMRs. I'll look for the carbs in there and add that to whatever lean and green I'm eating, right?
Yep. And the PCMRs, like MyFitnessPal, they have some of these apps that you can get that you can use your camera. You take a picture of the barcode and it already knows what it is, and it puts it all in there for you. Super nice. MyFitnessPal one has one. There's one. Lose It is another one.
Is that free?
Yep. And Take Shape for Life has one called Dashboard. Take Shape one has a TSFL dashboard that works as well. MyFitnessPal, Lose It. There's a number of them out there. And but so I scan the packages of all the meal replacements, and then it does all that for me. And then the only thing I have to really calculate is my lean and green. But if I'm following the Quick Start Guide, then I know how many ounces I'm getting because I'm following the Quick Start Guide. And so then it'll tell you how much carbs, proteins, and fats is in there, and then you can get an average. And if you're nailing it 85 to 90, well, if you're nailing it with the carbs, you're eating with an hour of waking up, you're eating on time, you're getting your water and your sleep and all that, it would be, unless you're at too low a body weight, you're gonna lose weight. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's that I learned that today, and the avocado. I've been eating some avocado, and I'm like, oh, I can't eat avocados.
Yep. Yeah, and it is my it wasn't in this book as a healthy fat option. I don't believe it's in the Quick Start Guide.
I thought it was, but I can't.
Craig, I was going to ask you about that because it's not. You're right. It's not in the Quick Start Guide, but it is on the condiment guide.
Oh.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks.
Yeah.
So that's what I wasn't sure, and it was on the condiment list. It's measured in ounces of how many ounces you can have and it is listed as a healthy fat. But I wasn't sure if you were just having us focus more on just the Quick Start Guide.
Yeah. Well, and so it's not in the optional, the condiments optional in this book. And so when we're trying to do the 5-in-1, if we don't go outside of this book, we will have the best success. This is the recipe. This is not the recipe.
Uh-huh.
Right? And something on Sandy's Kitchen is not the recipe. And something somebody else posted on Facebook that has a little bit of laughing cow cheese is not the recipe. Right? So sometimes you can get away with those things, but if you're stuck,
constantly, then that's why.
Yeah, and you have
not watching it.
That's why people that go back on the program the second time, sometimes or third time, have a little bit harder, is because they don't start with straight 5-in-1. They start with all the concessions that they made the last time they did the program, and it just doesn't work for them.
Okay.
Because they think they're doing the 5-in-1. Oh, I can have laughing cow. Oh, I can have this. Oh, I can have that. Well, let's go back to day one when you first did this, and let's follow it to the T.
Right.
And guess what? Your body
okay.
will magic again.
Okay.
So
great. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys. So that concludes our night tonight. You guys were a great audience. This was a lot of fun tonight. And so I appreciate you showing up and being part of my community so I can be part of your community.